all the people out here, who are actually PMI certified PMPs? PMPs? Does everyone out here understand when I talk about CPI and SPI? Do you know what I'm talking about? Cost performance index, schedule performance. These are indexes that are used pretty well across the board now in project management, where you want to understand how are you performing against schedule, SPI, schedule performance, or cost, CPI. One of the problems that's always been here is that if you take a look at the PMI model, it's sort of the triangle model. I have a version of it just in a few slides. You take a look at that triangle model, and functionality is actually the third part of the triangle. It's often called the triple constraint. You know, you either move cost, or you move schedule, or you move functionality, but you can't move all of them. You have to trade off between them. One of the problems is that there was a good measure for CPI, for cost, and there's a good measure for schedule, but there's no good measure for functionality. And we've actually expanded upon that a little bit. I'll get to that in a second. But one of the great limitations of just looking at cost and schedule, particularly in very large COTS deployments, is you see this effect. And what happens is that all these applications all go through a life cycle. This is an example of it: definition, design, build, transition, production. You'll see similar life cycles in systems development. What happens is that it looks like you're doing great until sometime close to end of build, beginning of transition. And then, all of a sudden, CPI and SPI look like they've dropped off a cliff. Thinking, well, what happened yesterday? It looked great. Today, now it's all dropped out of recognition. It couldn't have gone bad that quickly. Well, the answer is it didn't go bad that quickly. What actually happens in a traditional COTS type of deployment is that even though the cost and the performance is being reported as good all the way through until you get to the end of build, the reason why that's the case is because the end of build and the beginning of transition is where traditionally people start to test the application. What happens when you start to test the application? You find all sorts of problems. Now, the interesting thing about it is that the problems didn't occur in test. One of the things that's really interesting from our experience is that we get called into organizations and they say, you know, our testing people are terrible. I mean, they're just terrible. I mean, they can't get through this testing. We give them a week to do the testing, and they take 3 weeks to do the testing. You know, you've got to come and assess these guys and tell me what's wrong with these guys. So we go in, we assess the guys, and what do we find out? These guys are great. They're great. I mean, they're the best testers we've ever seen. What's the problem? The problem is all the garbage that got put in at the beginning in the development phase. These guys are doing a great job, but they're finding lots and lots and lots of garbage to get rid of, lots of defects, should I use the correct term. It's the same thing happens with these types of projects. The bad stuff happens very early on, but it doesn't get measured very early on. Nobody detects it. So your injection rate of problems is very, very high. And in fact, if you take a look at the blue here, the blue is actually, in fact, the injection. This is where all the bad stuff is injected into the system. The red one is the fix effort. You don't start the fix effort until too late on. Now, can anybody tell me what happens to a problem if you leave it? Does it get better? Does it get worse? It gets significantly worse. I mean, not just a bit worse, it gets worse by a geometric calculation. And I'll show you that in just a second. But the fact of the matter is that CPI and SPI are great measures. You know, I would never say that you want to go without those, but you can't rely upon them because, frankly, you're not looking for a lot of the problems early on in the process. Therefore, they're never going to show up. You need something else. You need something else that tells you what else is going on early on in the process.